Today I'm operating from the Eastern Uganda field, so we want to thank God for today. And we'll go through module 4, and I'll ask Elder Muboki, Moses, to come and take us through module 4.
Good afternoon, friends. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Elder.
Hope you can hear me. Anyone who can hear me, please respond.
We are hearing you, Papa.
Amen. We want to thank God for Elder Awena and my friend Joshua. It seems today it has been a special day for elders, and I want to thank God for that. I want to thank God for Mama Waiswa, who is hosted from here in one of my offices. And we want to request you that you join us in our next presentation. Mama Waiswa, I request you to share the screen and we get started. Our module is the module 4. Allow me to correct something here.
Elder, let me pass out this announcement.
All right. Today we want to look at personality as our next module. It involves the ambassadors and developing their personalities through ministry. And we shall be looking at a number of issues. And can you see the screen? Mama Waiduba, you can see you're saying it, no? This time, hope you're seeing it.
Not yet.
All right, as Mama Waiswa prepares, I wanted to, wow, now you can see it, isn't it?
Yes.
Amen. Amen. All right, let's start with our next slide. After seeing that one, let's look at our next slide. Okay, as the slide comes, I want us to remind ourselves of this. This might be one of your courseworks, but I'm going to cheat some exams for you. God created us in different personalities, and some writers say that we are classified into 4 groups. There are those who are cool-tempered, or there are those we call hot-tempered. There are those who don't want to wish to do anything, and there are those who are very analytical and very silent. They rarely speak of anything. Even if something is happening, you just see them watching. Now, friends, in today's presentation, we want to see what God has given us as character, and God is character. Then we compare it to God's plan. What is God's plan to develop our character? Before we go to that character development and study, we need to remind ourselves that somebody classified people into 4 groups. And those 4 groups, the first one is the sanguine. The sanguine is the person who is sociable. The ambassadors we are leading, even you as a leader, you discover yourself like. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see the screen, friends? We are seeing this.
Yes, we are seeing it.
We are seeing the screen.
Can you see the presentation, or you are seeing Mama Waisa's screen?
We are seeing Mama Oiswa's screen.
What is it reading?
We are seeing it. It has a lot of folders, and I'm seeing it has module 4 final, my spiritual gift inventories, like that.
Just modules.
It is
Okay,
just
let us
showing.
correct it as we get back to you. Mama Waisa is trying to handle that. Let me continue telling you what I was telling you. That people were classified in around 4 areas. One of them is the sanguine. The sanguine is someone who is sociable. And that person who is sociable, he will speak even if you've not spoken to the person. You start a conversation. So some of the ambassadors we are leading are talkative, like that. Okay, we thank God that we can now see the screen. If you can see the screen, shout amen.
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 All right. Character and personality, then outdoor adventures. That's what we are looking at. And before we go to the next slide, I was just trying to tell you that if God has created us in different personalities, one of them is the sociable guy called the sanguine. This sanguine can be a friend at any time and become an enemy immediately within that day. But he will never keep even anger on his heart. He can join anybody. He may not join all of the programs, but whatever program comes, he can join and even leave at the same time. That's the funny thing about the sanguine. We have the choleric. The choleric is a strong-willed person. Before we go to the next, let's understand this. The choleric is a very strong-willed person. We sometimes call him a leader. If he is somewhere and people are not interested in joining the program, you'll discover for him is saying, I will lead this program. Let me sweep if people don't want to sweep. Let me do this if they don't want to do. So we have the cholerics even in the ambassadors, even the leaders. Now we have what we call the melancholic. The melancholic people, or the melancholy, are people who are very silent but very analytical at the same time. They notice what is going on. They ask questions. Have you thought about this? They are well organized. They are very smart. Those are also a group of people. The sanguine people may not be very organized, but they are jolly. Anytime they are known. Before you mention anyone whose name, they know the sanguine already. Friends, we have the last personality called the phlegmatic. These are cool, patient, and sometimes we call them the don't care. If you told a phlegmatic that, hey, you know the guy who was planning to marry you is introducing another one next week, you say, okay, God bless him. You'll not even fight and come and say, I want to stop this. Do you know that whatever you had planned may go wrong? You say, no, that one can't go wrong. I believe it is cool anyway. Do you know that you need to iron your clothes? They say, but it looks cool. So they're like, don't care people. So in all our classifications, we have these people there. And that's why when you are an SYL student, you need to discover the people you're going to lead in those 4 classifications. And we have a special presentation of this. But because we are handling personality, character, and outdoor adventure, you needed to know that this is the foundation, because personality forms the character. Let us go to the next slide and see what we have to say. Our next slide talks about something very important. The module 4 objectives. We are expected to help ambassadors to discover that they are God sent. He's the one who created them in those 4 classifications. But as the Father sent him, he has also sent them in this world. And we need also to remember that the ambassadors who are 16 to 21 years old need to commit themselves, because they are ambassadors to another world, and therefore they need to live an influential life much as they are of different personalities. We need to remind our ambassadors that they are a new generation of spiritual leaders or even leaders of today. Why? No matter what personality they are, they can lead. Much as we said the choleric is the only leader, I can tell you some of our leaders are analytical. So they are melancholic. They speak less, but they analyze everything. Some of them are phlegmatic. They are cool, patient, and they don't care what's going on, whether you come or not. Things have to go on. But we have to help younger people to discover that God sent them and they're special as leaders. Help them discover their personality. Some people are born without knowing their personality. I would like also to remind you that sometimes children, as ambassadors or leaders, we are a combination of 2 personalities, my dad and my mom, or I am a combination of 2 personalities, what the church tells me to do and what I was created naturally, or my job also can influence my personality. So through the Outdoor Adventure program, we want to help ambassadors develop their character and their love for God, because they will be touring nature and they discover a lot. Now, having seen that, we need to promote the 4 essential elements of ambassador ministry. That is the spiritual companion, meaning that even during this course, this module, the spiritual companionship must be promoted. The individual discipleship plan must be promoted. The projects here help us a lot to develop the character and the personality of people, because they'll be working with different people. Social activities are likely to help even the unsociable to become social people. So we need to promote these 4 elements. This is our evaluation form, that after going through this course, the participants will be able to discover their personality traits, and they will be able to develop them, and they will be able to appreciate God, that God really has got a better plan to develop them better in a better character. As we go to the next slide, friends, there are many sections, major sections in this chapter 14, and we discover these 14 chapters. We have the yellow color, the green color, and the sky blue, and the gray one. I'll summarize them quickly. That from 1, okay, we're going back. Yeah. So in these sections, we are helping participants learn more about their personalities using a simple test. They need to be able to compare their results with others to discover. Actually, as we are learning now, as my fellow student, did you know what personality you are? For example, there are some of you are studying this course and you're couples. I don't know whether you know the personality of your wife or your husband, and you need to compare. You need to help the participants also to learn how to define the human beings as those who were created by God, have particular characteristics and variation. A variation is a difference. Actually, let me talk about this little. Some of us who had the chance to go to Baraton last year in December, Pastor Mbwana told us that God is the one who created these differences. The short, the tall, the melancholy, the sanguine, and others. But it is God who created these people. Sometimes when you look at them and we are trying to work with them, we become disgusted. But we need to appreciate that they are God's particular creation. And it is Him who created these varieties. For us as leaders and younger people to deal and to work with them. You'll never lead a group of people having one type of personality. Never. And in most cases, even us in couples, I can tell you my wife is very different from me. If I'm talkative, then you just know what she is. She's the opposite of that. Now, when you look at lesson 5 to 14, they are trying to train us to build the relationship between character growth and challenging outdoor activities. Meaning that after discovering our character, we need to grow it into God's character. We might discover some funny traits, and I want to emphasize this, that each personality I've talked about, when you do your research during our coursework, I shall give you, you will discover that each personality has got some negative, some bad things, something that smell bad, something that go badly. But we need to know that God has got a better plan of growing us in a better way. And each personality has got some beautiful traits that we need to concentrate on. And the other thing we need to know that it's very important to have the main activity in this module is called the 3-day outdoor activity. So someone is trying to ask, are we going to camp? Yes, we shall. If this COVID goes down, ambassadors need to test that. And therefore, if you're a master guide, you'll discover that that's when your skills in master guiding and camping skills come in handy and help each other. So human personality, just as you're seeing that cartoon, is trying to show the differences we have, but also how to live together as you appreciate each other. Now, friends, I want to tell you this, that personality is a combination of characteristics or qualities that form an individual. And what are those qualities? There are majorly 3. We have the human personality, the godly character, and the outdoor activities. Now, look at this. Someone may be born as a sanguine. This person needs God's character in his life. But again, the best way of testing someone's personality and building that person's character is when you have different activities. For example, if I told you to go and cook a full cock or a full chicken, will it survive? By the time it reaches the plates, shall we have all the parts of the chicken on the body? There's an activity I've given you. You are going to cook. If I've taken you for a hike, will you give up? Like the phlegmatic who is carefree, or the choleric who will say, I will do, I'm strong-willed. And therefore, the outdoor activities will build the character of our young people. Friends, we need to lead the participants to do the personality test. And after they have identified their personality test and they've known their type, we have to remind them of 2 major things. And those major things, one is that God can use them regardless of their unpleasant personalities. I think I've already talked about that. Because you remember Peter was harsh. You remember John? John could even tell Jesus, call fire to burn them. Let fire burn these people. They are against you. But Jesus had to handle these hot-tempered disciples until they became good people. I want to remind you of the second one. Be yourself and allow God to use you. So we remind our people that they should be themselves. They should not pretend. If you are sanguine, be happy to be a sanguine. Don't pretend, because pretense will never last long. Pretense lasts for a very short while. So in the book of N.G. White written, the book entitled The Ministry of Healing, page 498, it says that be no other person's shadow. Expect that the Lord will work in and by and through you. So God can still use you. Can God use me who is so silent I can't speak in people? Yes. Can God use me who is very vocal whenever there is something they ask for this, I give 100 answers? Yes. Can God use me who looks to be carefree? Yes, he can. So we need to emphasize this in ambassadors. Remember, They are looking for somebody to build confidence in them that yes, they can. And therefore, you need to do this. This is a very important thing to remind. Friends, as we go to the next slide, we need to remember the godly character. Where is it found? It is found in the Bible. The Bible has got a number of verses that talk about God's character. And the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 22 to 23, Galatians lists the character traits, and they are known as the fruits of the Spirit. That when ambassadors open their hearts to the Spirit of the Lord, then these fruits will come: love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, and others. These are better than worldly wisdom. And when you look at what Jesus called them in Matthew chapter 7, verse 16 and 18, Luke chapter 6 and verse 43, Jesus says he called the exercise of good character traits bearing fruits. So the ambassadors need to bear fruits, just as Jesus said. But the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 1 to 5, it has these very important statements. Let me share with you one of the verses. It says, Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1, says the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, the king of Israel. Verse 2, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, and so many. So godly character is built through receiving instruction of wisdom, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning. And therefore, as the senior youth leaders in training, we need to help younger people to make choices wisely. And that's why Solomon, the writer of these books of wisdom, one of the writers, when he was given a choice to make, he said, God, give me wisdom. And God was happy. He said, you've asked wisely, I'll give you more than wisdom. And therefore, we need to ask our young people to choose wisdom, because to help them to make the choice of God's character. Friends, let's move to the next slide. Now, after seeing that God's character is found in the books written in the Bible, God has got a plan for our character growth. Character is not to come upon us by just talking, just like obsessions. No, it has to grow. Character has to grow. So we need to assure our learners in the ambassador class, appeal to them to allow God to transform them, because this is God's business, to transform character, the bad character into good character. And that's why we have people who say, for me, I wouldn't be like this if it was not for God's grace. God's grace has worked in me. The people I was born with are all dead. Others are too old, you cannot look at them, you cannot admire them. Why? Because God has changed them. Now, character growth, character change is a process, it's a plan. And therefore, let's not expect as senior youth leaders that youth will change within one day. Knowing that what needs to be improved in his life, we need to help the younger people to discover which areas need to be improved upon. And they need to know that the blueprints of the godly character traits are revealed to us through the Bible. There are many good examples in the Bible who were bad and they chose to do good. Talk of Samson, who had to repent and God gave him chances. Talk of David, talk of others. So, knowing the steps it takes to get going in the character development, the young people need to know which steps are supposed to be taken. And we need to know that whoever we see as a good person, he must have made a choice to do good, to follow God's will. Then the other one, to grow into those steps of character growth. As we go to the next slide, we need to know this, that God's plan does not stop on character development alone. God's plan is, after developing your character, he's willing to test it. How does he test it? And why does God allow us to go through the tests? We need to prepare our participants that yes, the tests we do on people's character, or what we do to test our character, it's done in different ways. Survival skills are part of the ways we can grow and develop our character, even test our character. God puts our characters in a test, but he never tempts to make one stumble, but he tests us to strengthen us. So the story of Gideon is a very good example, friends. What does it say? That God reduced the number of the army from 32,000 people to 10,000 and finally to 300 in order to get the strong ones. So we need to remind our ambassadors that God tests character to strengthen them. Why? Because the ambassadors among the younger people who are going through different temptations. And I would like to remind you that each personality, the four we've talked about, are found in the church, even in the prisons. And therefore, we need to do a lot. That's why Peter says, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12 to 19, that whenever you are tempted, rejoice. Don't be surprised, but rejoice. But this rejoice does not mean because you have given into the temptation. No, but because you have stood your way, your ground by God's grace, by depending on God's word and God's strength. So God does that. Now, in another way of testing, growing our character is through adventure and outdoor activities. And you can see in the screen, we have different pictures that show the adventure skills. We are sorry that we've not given you the pictures from Uganda, specifically Africa, but next time we shall edit these pictures and give you our own of Montwanga and wherever we've ever been. Okay, now one of the ways of developing our ambassadors is to do what we call camping trips, like life situations that test the specific ways and show the strength of one's character. Survival skills are learned, and they can only be learned from outdoor. And these activities teach us lessons that will help in the passing of different tests in life, by the way. In this section, we expose participants to some lessons from outdoor activities. And let's go through them, a few of them, and we shall be moving towards our conclusion. One of them is wilderness. Did you know that Jesus also went into the wilderness to be tempted? Jesus' word says that I will come again and receive you unto myself. John 14:3. So surviving life is the ultimate survival, and the return of Jesus is the ultimate rescue. Jesus is going to rescue us from this world. So from before Jesus comes, we are still surviving. Even if you're seated at home, you're surviving. And let me also say this because I remembered it. This generation is full of what we call the indoor, in-house generation. We need to break that. Since your child or a certain child was born, has never gone out, he knows that milk grows in the fridge, avocados are picked from the basket or from the market, chicken is got from the supermarket. Camping and outdoor skills change the way younger people know and understand things happen. Now, outdoor adventure, the will to survive. You need to engage our ambassadors to review how they relate to God in the times of crisis in their lives. You need to expose them to the survival stories such that of Hagar and Ishmael in the desert. If you don't know what happened to Hagar and Ishmael, go and read about that. Remember that Hagar was the wife to Abraham, and Ishmael was one of the children. But let's go on. You're going to read more about that. How did they survive after being sent away from Abraham's home? And why were they sent away? You're a senior person. Go and study about that. Now, other outdoor skills include the effective signaling techniques. Let me tell you something. Ambassadors are in an age of using signs, signals. That's when they can even give a certain code number to mommy as number 2, daddy number 1, and the other people, they give them different things. I want to tell you that we need to help participants in ambassadors to identify God's signs in the Bible, even those which are not on this presentation, like the signs of prophecy, the rainbow, the Passover, the scarlet cord. If I can talk about a bit the scarlet cord. The scarlet cord was one of the ribbons, the red ribbon, which was tied on this harlot who protected the Israelites who had gone to spy in Canaan. And when they were there, this lady, the harlot, the name is running out of my
Rahab.
she was told to tie a red ribbon at our window because she would be protected. Now, these symbols, what did they mean in the Bible? So we shall be teaching our ambassadors symbolism. Rahab, thank you very much, Rufa Moses. Yeah, Rahab, you're a very good student. Thank you for helping your teacher who had not forgotten but had kept the name very far. Let's go to the next. But these are symbolism, the symbols, signaling signs and different signs we are supposed to teach our children. Fire building techniques. What do we talk about fire? Majorly in the Bible. There is a fire coming for the sinners. The fire in different locations of the Bible. What does it talk about? Do you know that even in our daily lives, we have ambassadors who don't know how to light a simple charcoal stove? Majorly men, even our younger ladies who have grown in boarding schools from nursery to secondary. So, where will they learn from this? So since our church is a training center, they need to be exposed when it comes to outdoor adventure, even in fire building. Fire building also has got dangers. How do you prevent fire from causing havoc in your home? For example, being surrounded with the plastic items. You remember that most of our houses are now surrounded with fire-friendly things. Plastic carpet, silk vinyl paint, plastic bulb and whatsoever. So we have fire-friendly things and we teach our people. And then outdoor, we talk about food procurement and water procurement, where we talk about the significance of water, even in the scripture. What is the significance of water in the Bible? How did the children of Israel get that water? How can we purify water? How safe is today's water compared to those days? And how can we help even our own communities access water? Do you know that one of the projects ambassadors can do is to help the community access clean and safe water? They can go out and clean a well, even fund some money to repair a certain borehole. And this, under this outdoor adventure, there are many things that can be done. The survival when it comes to shelter building. Regarding the need for shelter is, it's very, very important that the need for the shelter expressed in various threads of the Bible. We even have a song that the shelter in the time of storm. Can our younger people develop skills in shelter construction If God says, I'm your refuge, when they're out there and maybe rain gets to them, when they're hiding under a cave or a rock, can they discover the value of what God created there when they're there alone? Because whenever someone comes out, he changes the way he looks at God's creation. They don't look at them the same. Now, friends, navigation techniques. Do you know that in the Bible, God's word is a system of navigation and is a set of direction to all the lost? But before we take our younger people into the navigation of the Bible, we can still teach them the navigation techniques on earth here. Do you know that the people who move on the lakes, even in Uganda, they have their own navigation? They look at a certain star when they are swimming or moving their boats towards a certain shoreline. Do you know what they follow? What do you do when you are lost at night? How do you get the direction? And how does the Bible direct us to the right way? So all these things are part of the advantages of the outdoor skills. Friends, the solo supervised overnight camping trip, like that of Jacob. Remember when Jacob was running away from Esau and God assured him of the protection? The young people can learn that really God is the sole protector of people whenever they are on a camping trip. The camping trip also builds younger people to trust themselves in different activities. Just as you can see on that projection of the presentation, young people trying to climb through supporting each other. But I want to remember a certain story of a younger man who escaped from a camporee and he went to play soccer with others. When he was arrested into the camporee and he was disciplined by telling him to offer a prayer, he said, God, I thank you for not creating me from this place. And he annoyed the leaders, but he was meaning something. After the prayer, they asked him, why did you say that? He said, I was playing soccer with these people and no one had shoes. It was only me. So I was thanking him for making me a better person. I was created from a different country. I can assure you that after a month, the younger man led his friends with the donation of many shoes to the same team he had played with soccer. So when young people go out to camp, they appreciate to know that really God has made them even better than others and they were created to bless others too. Friends, during this presentation, we shall make an assessment too of what we've learned. How have the participants perceived in their heads? In their hands, what have they done? It is very wrong to be an instructor and you keep your participants dormant. It is true on Zoom here, we are busy Googling, doing what? But if we're doing this actively, we would have been at a camp out somewhere trying to do something serious. I don't think I have anything to tell you next, but I want to say thank you for being a very great audience, because it is time now to switch to what we are calling questions. We have only 17 minutes left. God bless you.
Amen.
Thank
Bless
you
you
so
too,
much,
Elder.
Elder Muboki Moses, for taking us through Ambassador Module 4. Wow, it's a blessing. Leaders out there, as you go through this as SYL, I just need you to know this. We need to be dynamic and easy leaders who are easily reached. I just reached Elder Muboki at 1. I just told him you're going to present Module 4. Can you imagine? He asked me why. I said the presenter has got issues, your fellow director. He just told me, okay, that is very fine. And I want to thank God that he has made it very well about character and personality and outdoor adventure. Friends, this is a practical one. I know someone may wonder, oh, are we going to do camping again? As SYL, we've been using to camping in Master Guide. Are we going to do camping in SYL? The answer is yes. We will need to do a camping in order to be, you know, to know what we do in camping and also how we shall take our ambassadors in outdoor. Remember, these ambassadors, they also enjoy outdoor. They enjoy fun. And so there is no way. And it's only because of COVID that we need to do module 4 practically. With my team and with my directors, we are thinking of where we need to take SYL for an adventure, for a 3-day out camp. And we hope to take them probably to Northern Uganda field. If you're there. And to the participants, if you can second and suggest we take them to Northern Uganda field, if you second, you can just send a chat in the chat box that we take to the team. Where can we take the SYLs for an outdoor adventure so that it is really practical? It's really practical lesson, and then we can learn more other things. We need to meet as a team, not here on Zoom, but also be practical somewhere. Probably when COVID, next year, I don't know how it will be, before we graduate, we need to do an outdoor. And hopefully, I am just imagining doing it in Northern Uganda, around Karuma there. Many people are in Eastern Uganda, many are in Central Uganda Conference, Pastor Sentongo. And they have never crossed beyond Luwero. So and many have been in Kazi and they are tired of Kazi and all those others. Anyway, that is just a suggestion. But together with my team, we will plan, and if you like it, you can give us your suggestions. Remember, these are SYLs. When we take the majority suggestions, we go with that. Remember what we do in senior youth. When we are in big gatherings, we say, okay, we can plan to go somewhere. So I believe it will be a great adventure for people from CUC, from people from SWAF, from Fort Portal, Elder Manire, if they can travel somewhere in Northern Uganda, and then we will be able to do our practical part. However, this is not confirmation. This is just to make to make Elder Awena fall in love with hosting us, and then with the team, if we agree, and if the participants above all agree, we can take a practical camp over there so that we can meet, number one, as a team, the entire 200 people plus, and then it will be towards the end of graduation, that one. So friends, want to take back to our MC, to the team in Northern Uganda field to take us through the question and answer, and then we can be able to close our session for tomorrow again. So back to you, Brother Oscar, if you're there, that you can take us through the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Unfortunately, our network was misbehaving. It was just on and off. We could have even missed some presentation, but at least the screenshot we were seeing at least helped us. Unfortunately, some of our members also just went outside. Rain was a bit threatening. But we are so much grateful for the presentation. Actually, one, this is the first time I've had this meeting on the chat room. I'm grateful to Elder Wena also for alerting me. I didn't know this was happening. So in case there is any question from members out there, even within here, I am so much welcoming to this platform. Anyone with a question? Hey, members. I'm going to ask questions. Yes. Ask the participants if there's any question. Direct to the presenters. You can see now our members are already few, but others are attending from outside. I don't know if there's anyone who really has a question. Mr. Obote, I see you're online. Do you have a question? But is one of us is just outside. They are also having their own team there. We have a number of participants here online. I can see a number of participants. We are around 61, 62. I'm seeing the number is counting. Now, we are not only going to have these questions regarding maybe the confines of Northern Uganda field and so on, but it's going to encompass the entire Uganda Union. Members, do you have a question? Then ask, and then we are able to have it answered. Yes, please. Someone is talking.
Yeah, we are here. I saw you presenting. Wow, congratulations. It was nice. It was a nice presentation. Yeah, I'm glad to see you on the session. Yes, you know.
Oh, I think our members have no question at this point. And we have really got the presentations, the two presentations made by... Yes, please. Someone is...
Hello, good afternoon, members.
Oh, yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miriam. Good afternoon, Miriam.
Yeah, mine is not a question, it's a contribution on module 4. At Mount Olives, we took the ambassadors for a survival camp some 2 years ago, and most of them up to now say it's the best experience of their life ever. So I just want to encourage anyone who has not tried to take the ambassadors out for camping that they should, because most of them have not had an experience of outdoor camping, especially because some of them did not go through Pathfinder and camping, and they only joined Adventism early on, or they were not active in Pathfinder, and so they joined Ambassador Club. But when they joined the Ambassador Club, they find camping very like a new experience. It's not something they expected, so it becomes the best thing they've ever had to do. Even now, most of them tell me that we should go. Actually, we planned 2 camps this year, but due to Corona, we did not go out. And we're looking forward to going out. So I want to challenge all my fellow ambassador leaders here that they should take up this seriously, because it also helps the ambassadors to open up and to be very friendly. It's a time to bond with them out there for maybe a week or 3 days, the weekend. Yeah, it's a very good time. Please take advantage of this module. Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. That was a nice addition.
There's somebody who asked a question.
I saw a question from Edward Rachaka from Midwestern Uganda Mission. He's asking, is personality a factor in influencing us to sin?
That question. Thank you. That question, I think, was directed to me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you, Miriam. Each personality type is susceptible to sinning and salvation. For example, if we looked at the melancholic, they can sin for not caring. But the sanguine can also sin for being very talkative. And these cholerics, since they are strong-willed, sometimes they can take on people's leadership when they are not elected leaders. So they can also sin. The melancholic, they are very analytical and silent, but when they hate, they take long to forgive. So every personality trait can be a catalyst to sinning, or it can be also under God's grace for salvation. We cannot say that a certain type is more of a sinner than the other. Thank you. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think if unless there's any other question, time is not on our side. I would request you invite our leader, then the program bosses to take us through, unless there's a burning issue somewhere.
Oh, yes. Oh, thank you very much, Elder Muboki and the rest of the participants who have been online. It's been an amazing experience. It gives us a lot of insight as the youths or the senior youths of today. Our eyes must be opened, and there are certain things that we must really take note of in our Christian journey. As we come to the climax of our program, we are going to have our closing remarks from Madame Waiswa. Kindly, you're most welcome. I have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Brother Oscar, for leading us through. I wish you would read people's comments in the chat room. There are many comments there in the chat room, if there is any question anyway. But I want to remember our SYLs that we always have even some assignments to do. I just want to remind our SYLs that when you go through your SYL card, I just want to share it here if it can be shared, just that my computer is. Okay, I just want to share the screen if it can be shared so that we can have the, I don't know, I can't see it here. Okay, if we go through the SYL card requirements, I wanted to pick my SYL card requirements so that we can view it. If you can get your SYL card requirements, let me see if it can come here. Yes, I think it can come. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can
see. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, we can see the screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes, Mama, we can see it.
Miriam Bandona, what is there on the screen? Because I'm not seeing it.
Complete a 200-page, 500 words minimum, or recording research paper about the standard temperament analysis program, and complete an affiliated temperament in inventory. Module 4 ambassadors.
Yes. Now, this is what I wanted to refer you. This is our SYL card requirements. So, under the area you and the youth, you need to complete a 2-page. You are going to summarize in 2-page, 500 words, or recording of 10 minutes. Now, this recording is either on a voice, but we will prefer to write. So I'll ask you to write, because this is directly in your SYL card. What are you going to do? Complete a 2-page, 500 words research paper about a standard temperament analysis program, and complete the affiliated temperament inventory module 4 ambassadors. Now I want you to go and look for module 4, ambassador module 4, the book. Elder Muboki has shared us about personality and has taken us through all that. Now, there is need to accomplish a standard temperament inventory. Now, when you do this standard temperament inventory, you will be able to identify your personality. It's very interesting, friends. You will be able to know whether you are sanguine, whether you are a phlegmatic. You'll be able to know if you are a melancholic or you are a choleric. So friends, do you know your personality? Elder Muboki asked us that. But it is an assignment here. When you go to our SYL card, in the area called You and Youth, in the area called You and Youth, now you will find that standard temperament analysis in module 4, this very module. Now I am going to post the module 4, the book of module 4 in detail, so that you look for that temperament inventory, so that we do it together. Now that one, it will be in your files. It will be one of the things people look out for, the team, before your graduation. So please complete. Just like we did the spiritual gifts. Each of you found out their spiritual gifts. Now here we want each one of you to find out their temperament. Which personality are you? You may be thinking that you are sanguine, yet you are melancholic. So do a standard temperament inventory, so that you are able to find out your personality. So friends, I just want to take you through the SYL card so that you know where this assignment is found. It is found in that area You. So thank you so much, friends, and may God bless you. I think that is all I had. Brother Oscar, do you have anything for the participants?
Yeah, now there is that WhatsApp group that we are not included. I wish we would get included, so that we may be able to receive some of those updates also.
Which one is not included? I'm not getting you.
Oh,
not included.
What I was saying,
they're requesting to be added to the WhatsApp group.
Okay. Exactly like that.
Now those ones, they need to see Sister Ruth. Sister Ruth can text her contacts here in the chat, that they can text her, so that she will tell you the procedure. Yeah.
All right.
Is there anything else?
There is nothing else. We would just wish to
thank
you.
Question. There is a question someone has just posted, if you've seen it. There is
this question is coming from Ray Ekalef. She's asking, any difference or similarity between personality and temperament? That was the question. That is what we saw here. I think this is to you, Mrs. Weisler, that question.
I think that question was answered. Elder Muboki.
No, the difference between personality and temperament.
Temperament.
Okay, Elder Muboki has the answer.
Okay.
The difference between personality and temperament is the same. You'll always find some writers call them temperaments, others call them personality. Thank you.
Okay, I think that question has been answered. So we need to find out our temperament. The word is either temperament or your personality traits. So we'll send you the module 4 in details so that you can find the assignment you'll do in order to know your temperament. Remember, this very assignment, you need to give it to your ambassadors to also know their temperaments or to know their personalities so that they can be in position to serve the Lord best given their different personality traits. It is very, very interesting. And so we'll need to complete that assignment. We want to appreciate all of you once again. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming on board. Thank you all our dear participants. Thank you, Elder Amanyire Joshua, for the great presentation. And thank you so much, Elder Muboki Moses, for taking us through that presentation. Friends, the good news is
Our network went off. Can somebody hear us?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are hearing you.
Now, we have the last presentation from our choir here. I don't know if time can allow, we let them present and then we start the program. Yes, members. Can we have the, or time is not okay? Hello. Are we audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Guys, begin.